Hello dear students, you are going to learn on handicapped children. So I am going to share the screen with you. Handicapped children is an important short note. It is frequently asked in exams, and if it is asked, the marks are very handy. So usually you get the marks if you read it properly. So physically and mentally challenged children or handicapped children, child labor and all. This frequently asked in the exam. It's an important examiner's favorite short note, and if you learn it properly you will able to write properly, and so you will get the handy marks. So physically and mentally challenged children. Now there are some definitions which you must know. It is asked usually in the vivas and also asked in the as a short note. So impairment, what is impairment? Impairment is any loss or abnormality of psychological, physiological or anatomical structure or function. That is impairment. Any loss, any or abnormality of psychological, mentally retarded, physiological or anatomical structure, either lame hai, limb nahi hai, or no sight, mute, deaf, dumb, etc., blind, etc., is an impairment. Disability is any restriction or lack of ability to perform an activity because of loss of limbs, or because of blindness, or because of lameness, because of mute or dumbness. If there is restriction to perform an activity, it is disability because of the impairment. Okay, disability because of the impairment. Handicap. This is a disadvantage for a given individual resulting from an impairment or a disability that prevents the fulfillment of a role that is normal for that individual. So, handicap is a disadvantage for a given individual because of loss of vision or loss of speech or loss of any limbs, and because of that if he is not doing the activity properly which he should do or which he should have done, that is handicapness, and that prevents the fulfillment of a role that is a normal individual should have played. Classification is physical, mental and social handicap. First one we will see about a physical handicap. Physically handicapped children causes are birth defect, infection and accidents. Example is blind, deaf, polio, cerebral palsy, accidents, injuries, burns, congenital heart defects, etc. Prevention, we can prevent it always by prenatal advice or prenatal detection of the abnormalities. Then during the labor, if the labor is too long or too prolonged labor at the time, cerebral palsy is commonly seen. Postnatal problems and genetic counseling. With the help of this, we can always prevent the physically handicappedness of a child. Then there are mentally handicapped children. This is a condition of sub-average intellectual function, causes as genetic factors. For example, Down syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, phenylketonuria, microcephaly, galactosemia, congenital hypothyroidism. So these are certain genetic factors responsible for occurrence of mentally handicapped child. In antenatal factors in form of a neural tube defect, which always we can prevent with folic acid. So 3 months we give folic acid or white for any pregnant woman in first trimester of pregnancy to prevent neural tube defect, so that the child will not born with mental handicapness. Then RH incompatibility, rubella. If any woman during her pregnancy, if she gets rubella, TOI, tetralogy of Fallot is seen, stillbirth is seen, or child is born with loss of legs. Then CMG, cytomegalovirus, toxoplasmosis, syphilis, drugs, and irradiation. These are the common factors responsible for mental happiness in a child. Perinatal factors like birth injuries, hypoxia, cerebral palsy, and all. Postnatal factors in form of head injuries, accident, encephalitis, lead and mercury poisoning, etc. Miscellaneous factors in form of maternal malnutrition is woman is undernourished. Obviously, she gives birth to a child with low birth weight, BP, and so many problems to start. Protein, energy, malnutrition, iodine deficiency, commonly seen. consensuous marriages, and late pregnancy. These are certain factors which always we can prevent. Because of thoda sa ignorance or thoda sa no alertness or lack of alertness gives rise to a mentally handicapped child. And if a child born with mental handicap happens at that time, the life of that baby and his parents is ruined totally. So we have to be very much cautious and alert. Then mental retardation categories are mild, moderate, severe, and profound. Mild when IQ, when intelligence quotient is between 50 to 70. Moderate if IQ is between 35 to 49. Severe if the IQ is between 20 to 34. And profound when the IQ is less than 20. Babies with profound mental retardation when intelligence quotient is less than 20, chances of survival are least. Then there is something known as socially handicapped child, a child whose opportunities for a healthy personality development and a full unfolding of potentialities are hampered by certain elements in his social environment, such as parental inadequacy, environmental deprivation, if the child is oftenly bitten, oftenly scolded, lack of stimulation of learning process, if a child is learning and if he is prohibited from learning, if there is no encouragement, no carrot for his any achievements, emotional disturbances, loss of mother or father or a broken family or orphan child where parents are not there, or neglected or destitute child, or exploited and victimized child, a child with frequent sexual abuse, a child with frequent physical abuse, that is a exploited and victimized children. A child who is physically and mentally handicapped also suffer with social handicap. Now, how we can prevent it? The approaches to prevention are, first one is a primary prevention in form of the ideal is to prevent a handicap from occurring through the application of preventive measures during pre-conceptional. If a couple with some problems, some genetic problems, at that time we can always prevent the birth of such child during pre-conception level only. Prenatal, intranatal, infancy, childhood, and adolescence. So these are the phases or the phases of life of a child where always we can prevent the occurrence of handicapness in a child. Then primary prevention will be in form of a genetic counseling. Optimum age for producing a normal baby is between 20 to 30 years. A woman should produce a baby between 20 to 30 years of age, ideal, to have a normal baby. After the age of 30 to 35, usually 38, there is a greater chance of producing a genetically abnormal child in form of a Down syndrome. So any woman giving birth to a baby after 35 or 38 years of age, chances of getting Down syndrome is 42 in 1000. Okay, so it increases like anything. Consensuous marriages should be discouraged. Means a marriage within the family with relatives should be discouraged. At risk approach, people at risk of transmitting inherited diseases, example, chromosomal or sex-linked diseases, hemophilia, like this, should be prohibited, should be identified and advised about future risks. Immunization, polio, rubella, measles are some examples. If a woman is getting rubella or measles during her pregnancy, chances of problem with the baby are much more. If a child is getting polio within first 5 years of life, chances of becoming lame is very frequent. So what we do extensive pulse polio immunization. So with the help of that, with the help of aggressive and extensive pulse polio immunization, we have eradicated polio from India. So India is now polio free, which is declared by WHO. Then nutrition, proper nutrition of expectant mother is important for the well-being of the unborn child to reduce the incidence of prematurity, which is associated with mental handicap. So we have to see to any obstetrician has to see to it that her patient, that a pregnant woman should get a proper nutrition. It is a duty or the responsibility of the family of a pregnant woman that they should feed the pregnant woman properly so that child will not be premature. So the chances of getting mentally handicapped child will be least or minimal. Also, health care of mothers and children through prenatal, natal, postnatal periods. Avoidance of infectious diseases, teratogenic drugs, X-rays, smoking, care during labor, accident prevention of uh, medical examination of pregnancy if fetus is severely handicapped. So during anomaly scan, which we do usually 3 to 4 months, 4 months, 4 to 5 months at a time, we are able to make out whether the baby's all organs are developed properly or not. So with the help of that, we can do MTP if the fetus is severely handicapped. At that stage, we are able to make. Then earlier diagnosis and treatment of these children. First and other very important or the major role is played by physiotherapy. A continuous follow-up physiotherapy is important. The child is taught according to his ability and tests. For example, things like music, painting, waving, woodwork, pottery, basket making, especially, etc., will be taught to the baby as far as his skills are concerned. Then speech therapy, if the baby is mute, if the baby is deaf and dumb, at that time we can always give the speech therapy so that a baby will able to learn the lip movement and learn to speak. Then use of prosthetics like artificial limbs, hearing aids, etc. Then training as well as the education. Child is trained for an independent living. This is called vocational guidance. He is trained to work with whatever is left, whatever he has. With that, he should learn to live or lead his life so that he is not a burden on others. He should be able to earn his livelihood. This is known as vocational guidance. Whatever is left with, so whatever is left with that, he should develop the skills, or we should train the child to develop the skills so that he will be an independent person in future life or in adult life. So he will not be a burden on others. There are over 150 schools and institutions for the handicapped children. Training and education, the Ministry of Social Welfare, Government of India has set up the National Institute of Mentally Handicapped in 1984 at Sikandarabad. It has its branches in Mumbai, New Delhi and Calcutta. Apart from NIMH, three other national institutes are also working in specific disabilities like Aliyavar Jung Institute, which is in Mumbai, which is for hearing handicap with regional branches at New Delhi, Calcutta and Sikandarabad. National Institute of Visually Handicapped, Dehradun, with regional branches at Chennai, and National Institute of Orthopedically Handicapped in Calcutta. So these are some institutes, government institutes work for them. In India, the Ministry of Welfare operates through the 5 major schemes of assistance to the voluntary organizations providing services to the disabled children. Assistance up to 90% in urban and 95% in rural areas is given to NGOs for education, training and rehab. Assistance for aids and appliances, monthly about 3,600 is provided. Assistance to rehab of leprosy cured patients, for manpower training of professionals. Usually what happens when leprosy, when it is advanced leprosy or when it is lepromatous leprosy, At that time, the person has got a physical limitations. He is not able to see. He becomes blind. He has got foot drop. He has got wrist drop. So forth, so on and so forth. So assistance for such people for their rehab or manpower training of professional skills, which is known as vocational guidance. Also developing infrastructure such as classrooms, libraries, hostels, or for the cerebral palsy and mental retardation. Assistance to voluntary organization to open special schools. Okay, so these are the things or the preventive measures, whatever we can do for the handicapped child. Coming to child labor. The term child labor is often defined as a work that deprives children of their livelihood, of their childhood. If a child is doing a waiter ka kaam in a hotel, that means he is deprived from his childhood, their potential and their dignity, and that is a harmful to physical and mental development. It refers to work that is mentally, physically, and socially or morally dangerous and harmful to children. So a child which forced to do some work which is he is not supposed to do, or a child who has to do some work for his livelihood which he is not supposed to do, which prevents from his childhood, that is known as a child labor. In 2011, the National Census of India found the total number of child laborers in India aged 5 to 14 to be at 10.1 million out of total to 59.64 million children in same age group. So when children between 5 to 11 years of age do one, 1 hour of economic activity or 28 hours of domestic work during 1 week, it's not one work, during 1 week. Children 12 to 14 years of age doing 14 hours of economic activity or 42 hours of domestic work in 1 week. That is a child labor. Causes of child labor are poverty, unemployment, lack of education, and lower education. These are the major causes of child labor. Occupations where children are employed mainly are domestic help, agriculture, mining, construction work, bidi making, weaving, zari work. Zari means sari and all. उसका जो रहता है वो zari work. Effects of child labor, physical and mental health affected, and occupational hazards. Then also we have something known as child trafficking. Trafficking affects about 1.2 million children each year. So you can make out how serious the problem is. It affects usually 1.2 million children on an average in a year. Most trafficking is in child prostitution. Girls, children go to this. Unskilled laborers and entertainment sector. Child marriage. Child marriages are still in practice in Rajasthan, MP and UP. Less than 14 years of age, less than 18 years of age, less than 16 years of age, girls and boys. If the girl is less than 18, if the boy is more than 21, it is a child marriage act. So as per the Sharda Act or as per the Prevention of Child Marriage Act, if any girl less than 18 years of age or any boy less than 21 years of age is got married, he or she can be punishable as per the law. So Sharda Act has been enacted for forbidding the practice of child labor. Child Guidance Clinic, you will read from the book. Child placement, also we have found of orphanages. Such children who are ran away or who are the laborers, they can be kept in orphanages or the foster homes. Foster homes are caring for children other than those from their natural families. Parents के साथ नहीं, in some different house, provides a child with security and affection. माँ के जैसा प्यार जहाँ पे मिलता है, security जहाँ पे मिलती है, safety जहाँ पे मिलती है, वो घर, but not own house or not a natural house or not a parent's house is the foster home. Then adoption. Children go for adoption from adoption houses. Then boarders for boys are about above 16 years of age. Then remand homes, children are kept under the supervision of doctors and psychiatrists to improve the mental and physical well-being of child, and elementary schooling is provided. Remand homes where 16 and more age or 14 and more age boys and girls who have already committed some offense can be kept under the supervision of doctors and psychiatrists to improve the mental and physical well-being of the child, and also schooling is provided. Then we can prevent this child labor with the help of education and employment of the parents. Very important. Parents should be educated, parents should be employed so that parents will not force their children for the employment or the child labor, or they will not make their children as school dropouts, or they will not encourage their children for dropping out from school. And also the legislation, enforcement of the act, okay, enforcement of the law. So as per the law, if the law is enforced, then child labor will be prevented. Thank you very much. That is all regarding आज का lecture on child labor. Okay, and physical and mental challenge children. So definition is important, classification is important because the short note is asked, and then what is mental, physical retardation, and socially handicapped means what? Physical handicap means what, and how we can prevent it. Okay, then what is child labor? What is the age as per the law, and what is the definition? What is the current situation in India as per the 2011 national census? Then how we can prevent it, and what is child trafficking? Okay, so these all things you learn in today's lecture. Now I will be giving you questions in Google Forms which you will be writing and submitting. Right? So we are having a classroom on Google for your class, and accordingly we all will be putting lectures. So all faculties from community medicine department will be putting the lectures in Google Classroom along with the questions. So you are going to submit the answers or the assignment in Google Forms. Okay, thank you very much.